It's Moonlight you see coming from this, and that's me changing, you see, to how we had to start. You see, David, because in 3 days' time, hopefully, with the right help, you could be told that your mum said you could watch it. And welcome to... My mum said I could watch it. This week's episode is American Werewolf in London. It's a classic. I've tended to avoid those films that were actually in a cinema and well known and that there are many videos about, simply because they're famous. There's a level of archetype to them. There's a level of stylistics and criticisms and reviews that you can find on those films that are really intelligent, and as such, don't need my contribution. However, this currently available on Amazon Prime as a freebie, also as Lionsgate. I don't know if there are different editions. I suspect there's more nutty in the Lionsgate version, because watching this again, I was like, wow, that's more nutty than I thought. So 1981 was when it was made. I would have been 5. I was this one I didn't rent. My brother rented it. It was one of the first films that came into the house. This and Empire Strikes Back came into the house after my mum and dad had rented a VHS video recorder top loader that lasted until I thought it'd be good to stick Han Solo in there. Not just stick Han Solo in there, but what I would do is I'd take the little plastic blister packs that they came in, put Han Solo in that, put him in the freezer so he would be in carbonite, and then put that ice block into the top loader. That, brought the end of that machine. But during the time that we had it, this was one of the first films we rented, complete with, yes, the oversized video case rental. American Werewolf in London, in a real basic sense, as a reminder, 2 American backpackers, kids, frat house, really should be doing the European vacation, sort of fraternity party, guys, suburbanite. Hey, everything is built for us to just laugh at, call foreign, or have sex with. Guys, that we love because they're so cool and endearing. Find themselves in the middle of a Wicker Man style environment. One of them dies, the other one gets bitten and is infected as a werewolf. What follows is a set of social and sexual commentaries on London urban life and how can we reclaim our paganistic history, until in the end he dies as well. And really, we are just spectacle to it. It's on rails. Looking back on it, it's not so much his curse as his destiny from the minute he gets bitten. Nothing special is done. You don't need a silver bullet. The sheer mundanity of being a werewolf comes through really well, and I thought it was fantastic. Of course you think it's fantastic. How does it relate to me? Firstly, this film gave me the absolute weebies. I pooed. I absolutely pooed. It's the scenes, the dream sequences always affected me more. I think because as a kid, my brother was really the David character. My brother was Mycroft, we'll call him for the sake of ethos. Was the backpacker of us. He loved countrysiding. He loved getting the tent out, and he loved doing all those kind of things. And he is 7 years older than me. So for me, and he did tell me this, basically, if you were to choose which American Werewolf in London character I was, I'd be the little Asian boy in the hospital bed going, no, and reading comics a lot. Mainly because when I was his age, technically speaking, I was a little boy. I had asthma, and I was sitting in a hospital bed being treated for my asthma and going, no, a lot. But discovered the hospital itself had a box of comics, which is where I first really met Batman. The film's amazing in the fact that everyone is an actual character. Everyone is an actual character. There is no non-consequential bit part. The 2 inspectors have a hilarious sort of sense with them. There's a sense of those who don't understand youth and just think they're all wastrels. And there are those who are being a bit more sensitive and going, no, you know what? There is something more going on here. they get the laughs at every point. He has totally chock-a-blocked it. I know there are people here watching this now, for example, going, there's no way that you're a young Asian boy in a hospital with asthma. To which I'm just going to respond, Tumi Jenny Nakiyami, and let you go and subtitle that. Yeah, it's got that level of detail. It brings London to the fore. It does have that certain element of laughing at the yokels. The countryside itself, yet again, everyone is an actor. No expense, no space is spared for a line that can be there, an action or a mannerism. Look, I push trolleys. I'm not a bloody psychiatrist. Oh, I reckon he's this. Oh, I reckon he's Jewish. Why? Because I had a look. Well, Rose, can you go and work as an actual nurse? Every moment has it. All of the victims have some sort of backstory of type, of class, of character that comes straight through. Even the upwardly mobile yuppies who thought it would be japes and scrapes, the fact that they're still so chilled after they've been mauled to death is hilarious. And it is a London film. It really is. The Bobbies on the Beats, I mean, it was a good 30 years. The last time I'd seen it, let's say it's 2011. Tottenham Court Road still looked like that. So it didn't age really at all. It's got some fantastical moments which have aged more just because you just realise how the NHS has changed, how quality of life has changed for the detriment. We think we live in you're watching this on YouTube and digital world, everything's all gorgeous. Jenny Agutt's nurse makes a comment about how everything is so expensive, how our wages don't keep up with inflation at all. Considering where we are now in 2023, such an apt statement. Completely undermined by the fact that she goes back to this gorgeous apartment which she can rent on her own. And here is the bathroom. And here is the part. And here is the closet. And I'm like, you have got a ground floor, ostensibly at least zone 2, old building apartment. Unless, that's a leasehold and a fixer-upper or something. I think you have all the money. The Doctor Who fought in Rommel. It's incredibly layered, and I think it has to be layered given the fact that he's gonna die. So you've got to pack it with as much as possible. The experiences are totally resonant. He's questioning himself. If you've had an experience or a loss, particularly at a young age like he has there, in an accident, then you can just see Jack as some sort of survivor's guilt or a manifestation of PTSD. That's not a massive leap. His conversations with his sibling on the phone, trying to get them to say to his parents that he loves them, that's just a classic. My brother phoned me up with that sort of thing and trying to be all emotional. I'd be like, who are you? What have you done with Mycroft? You liar. It's paced so well. The scenery's epic as well. You've got London, yet whenever they cut to that country town, be it the investigation or the setup, you have no doubt that you're absolutely in the wilderness. And you know what? I've been in that pub. With friends and we've walked out there. I remember once we were in Essex and I managed to convince two of my fellow flatmates to go to the pub that was literally just across the road rather than going all the way to the student pub and back again. We walked in, slaughtered lamb, slaughtered muppets more like. We all bought one drink. None of us knew how much money it was. And then one of us, and I'd at least been in some pubs because I'd done comedy. And I know that sounds so bloody anthropological, but at that stage, I realised where things had gone wrong when someone went, "Oh, do you accept check?" In a word, it really is that acrimonious. And you know what? When you're there and they see you and they know that you're not from around these parts, but yet they're only a pint away from going, yeah, but where are you from actually? You do get a bit more dubious and you go, you know what? I'll finish this pint. I've gone. Be out the door. And yes, you will get lost in the woods and less lost in the green. The amount of times me and someone else have egged themselves on, and it'll be two guys who'll have just egged ourselves on into absolute paranoia as we've lost our way from the pub to the train station after some poxy gig and going, oh no, I'm going to come to get your mom. It's going to be horrible. Ah. Right? Captures all of it. Absolutely captures all of it. It's bedded into its reality. 1981 to 2023, so little has actually changed in terms of human response and what we do with these situations. It's a great film. You knew that already. I do think you should watch for the shock values. I do think for me, when he turned into that sort of vampire and he's in a bed, so it's the hospital bed, but it's in the woods, and then he goes over to it and he goes, bah! And he's all blue and yellow eyes, right? That shat me for weeks, absolute weeks. There's no way I should have watched it. I was 7, right? The comedy and horror is blended so naturally in this. You know what? It's been too long. You should stick it on now. Just do that now. Like and subscribe. I think that's a thing apparently people do. But just do that now. And really embrace an American werewolf in London. Bye.